as you know, Seattle is called the cloud capital of the world. A lot of companies which are there, a lot of startups, a lot of unicorns, big companies, and that's the place. We are also placed, our headquarters is there. And we work with a lot of fast-growing unicorns. When you say unicorns, they are more than 1 billion plus market value. And so we work with a lot of unicorns in and around Seattle. We not only in Seattle, we also work areas like Texas, we have Florida, East Coast, those areas, our customers we predominantly work with. And not only our unicorns, we also work with big customers, which are multi-billion-dollar company, 50, 100 billion-dollar companies that we work with. We also work with mid-sized companies, our customers. We also work with small size. So we are, we being a very, we call it a technology company, technology house, and we work with product companies, high-tech product companies to build their products. That's how we are doing it. And primarily, so we provide technology-focused services to our customers. With this quick, very brief, of course, you will hear a lot more about our company, about this. You'll hear it about the period. I'll quickly go with introducing our team. So the first begin with Mahesh Kulkarni. He is our co-founder and managing director. He comes with 23 years plus industry experience. He was working with Tech Lead and AFour Technologies earlier before starting AFour Technologies. His hobbies are reading books, singing and trekking. He has been an inspiration for all of us in AFour to keep ourselves in shape. So most of your leadership team that you'll see them all in shape. That is, one is Mahesh is lead by example. Thank you, Mahesh. Next, I move on to our CEO, Subodh Parulekar. He, as I mentioned, he sits in Seattle, Redmond, Seattle. He's our co-founder and CEO, and he has 25 plus years of experience in industry. His previous organization is AFour Technologies and Mindtree, and his hobby is singing and playing tennis. You can see a similarity in Mahesh's hobby and Subodh's hobby, and how that's how the kind of like-mindedness that we can see there. So both have come together. Pardon?
Organization too, yeah.
yes, very good, yeah. Thanks, Sainath, for that. Yeah, thanks for that. So please feel free to interact. Yeah, I like that, Sainath, for that active participation. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Great. Next, we have our HR head, Neha Sada. She has been with AFour for last 4 years. She has industry experience of 14 years. She heads our human resource team here. And the previous organization is E-Info-Chips and a part of Aero company. Her hobbies are reading books, writing blogs, and dancing. You'll very vibrant, lively HR person that we have, and you'll enjoy. I'm sure you'll talk to her, and you'll enjoy working with us well and interacting with her going forward. Next, we have Swapnil. He has been with us for last 5 years. Very enterprising person. He has 22 years of experience, industry experience. He heads our delivery practice and systems and cybersecurity. His previous organization is Symantec. His hobby is exploring interesting new technologies and associated trends. That's the mindset Swapnil brings on table, and I'm sure his team and guys will be enjoying that, always in the exploring more and more technologies. Next, we have Abhijit Nadgonda. He is our Senior Director of Engineering. He has been with us for last 2 years with AFour Technologies. He has 23 years of industry experience. He heads our application design and development delivery and associated practices. Previous organizations, Mindtree, and hobbies, trekking and cooking. Very silent, but very, when you say silent, very dynamic. And a lot of skills, a lot of very enterprising person to work with. You will see all of them having those experience, and you guys will enjoy interacting with that. So thank you, Abhijit, for that. Next, we have Manoj Kumar. He's our Director of Reliability Engineering. He's with us with AFour Technologies for 2 years. He comes with 20 plus years of experience and heading applications, reliability engineering, delivery, and associated practices. Previous organizations are IBM, MA, S360, AFour Technologies. Hobbies, playing sports. He has been ex-national basketball player, and he's also exploring technologies. He has been that brings the wide variety of experience that he brings on table. I'm sure you guys will enjoy being part of his team as well. Thank you, Manoj. Next, we have Utkal Morodia. He's our Associate Director of Engineering. He unfortunately is not able to join this session because of his commitment. He is with us for the last 2 years. He has 19 years of experience in the industry, heading application delivery and data analytics practice. Previous organizations, Mindtree, and hobbies are singing and music. So we have a very, very interesting and very dynamic team. We have, I'm sure you will enjoy working with us. And last but not least, myself, I'm Jenish. I head the TA practice. I'm the youngest in the team. Just the third week I'm completing it. And I'm like one of you guys. So I'm enjoying my last 3 weeks journey. It's been amazing, very, very enterprising. Great to work with this team. So you'll have a great team working with us. So we look forward to you guys also get onboarded and work and enjoy the same experience that I have. Now I'll move on to with the HR presentation. I'll invite Neha to start that presentation. Neha, could you please take over?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Jenish. First of all, thank you everyone for joining the meeting. And it's a very happy feeling to know that people with such varied interests are going to join us, join AFour family as we call it. So once again, thank you so much for joining the Assimilation meeting. And I'll walk you through certain slides from the HR perspective. Certain things I'll touch upon, which as HR team and as an organization, we are extremely proud of. So let me just begin with it. So as human beings are social animals, social connect, sense of achievement and monetary benefits is what we look at when we start our professional life. And pre-pandemic time, it was like we used to spend the same amount of time in office as we used to spend at home. Every day at office used to be a very happening time when we used to gather, we used to work together, help each other, have those tea and coffee sessions that we actually miss now. And so slowly and steadily, when we got to know that COVID has mandated all of us to work from home, initially, I'm sure it must be a very happy feeling for all of us, given that we didn't have to travel a long distance, be stuck in those traffic jams, look at each other. Oh my God, I spent like 1.5 hours coming to office. So initially, all of that made us happy. But as I said, all of us are human beings and we are social animals. So we started missing office after a period of time. And that's where as HR team and as an organization, we gave it a conscious thought that how do we stay connected, being virtually connected rather. And this is what we could think. We gave it a conscious thought. All of us thought about what can be done. And we came up with certain ideas. So from Monday to Friday, we have recreation hour every day at 4 o'clock. We do a lot many things. We do singing, we have instrument sessions, we have dance sessions, we have meditation, yoga, and that's where we connect. So there are a set of people who like singing. So they have formed their club and now they enjoy doing certain things together. We have virtual birthday celebrations. We have different recreational events in the areas of music and entertainment. As we talked last week, we had a family concert. So we invited performances from the family members and we had a gala time last Friday. We also organize org-wide chat shows and coffee shows where people who've been a part of AFour family for a longer duration, they talk to the team AFour, the family AFour, and they share certain things on the personal front. They talk about their hobbies. And that again gives us a platform to stay connected with each other. We have team meetings among project team members where we chat. We don't talk about work at all. We just try to understand how is it going on their personal front. Are they facing any challenges? Can we be of help? And this has helped to a large extent in staying connected and helping people in the time of need. We also have online org-wide town hall meets where we get to know how are we doing business-wise, how do we think that the next year would be for us? And this is keeping us abreast with what is happening in the organization and what is it in store for us. As we continue to evolve, we talk about it, we talk to the different team members, we talk to people in AFour family as to what can be done better to stay connected. And we would evolve, we would even take suggestions from you to make it happen and look forward to making AFour a happening place. Coming back to this slide, so this is something that as HR, we are extremely proud of, and also as an organization, we are extremely proud of. So last year, when the entire industry was going through the pandemic turmoil, where we saw a paradigm shift in the way the organizations were dealing with the employees, there were layoffs, there were salary cuts. We were one of the very few organizations who did not have a single layoff. Neither did we have salary cuts. Rather, we gave away performance incentives to deserving employees as early as July 2020. So this was typically the time frame where people were not even sure about whether their job would be there, whether they would be able to sustain in the industry or not. We were one of the very few organizations who recognized what people did, and we gave away performance incentives. We also started our appraisal process 3 months earlier. So our usual cycle used to happen during April timeframe. We preponed it and we started as early as December. We introduced internet and furniture allowance. So somehow we could foresee that this work from home thing is not going to end anytime soon. We thought that it is important that our people should be comfortable when they're working from home. And this is why we started with internet allowance and furniture allowance. Not only that, we also are covering the vaccination cost for all our employees, contractors, and interns. So for people who are residing in Pune, we had a vaccination drive, the first dose vaccination drive last month. And we would be having another one in the month of September. However, people who are not in Pune, we'll be covering the vaccination cost for all. And with all of this, there is something that we contribute largely in, and we feel that we should be able to give back to the society, since we are one of the very few selected fortunate ones who can do that. So we do a noteworthy contribution towards the needy hospitals, and we call this as a part of corporate social responsibility. We do a lot many events around the corporate social responsibility, but given the pandemic situation, this year we contributed towards the needy hospitals. Yeah, so these are certain things that I wanted to share from the HR perspective. And towards the question answer session, if there is anything that you would like to know more, do let us know, and we would be more than happy to discuss about it. In the previous assimilation meetings, I did get certain questions with respect to how our rewards and awards are designed. So as an organization, we feel that there is a technocrat and entrepreneur in each one of us. And as human beings, there are certain things that are interconnected. So performance leads to recognition, and recognition leads to respect. And thus our rewards and recognitions are designed in such a way that we cater to all three areas. We have AFour Meet Awards. So this is specifically value addition in the project. So respective projects we get nominations from, and these are recognized during the organization-wide event that happens once in every 2 months. We have hackathon and special incentive project awards. So this happens in a specific duration. There are events conducted periodically, and rich solution and design topics are discussed in this, and the winning team rather gets the award. We have asset project and milestone recognition. So when people work on the asset project IP creations and they have certain significant milestones in that, they are also recognized during an organization-wide events. So I'll stop here and hand over the baton to Swapnil to discuss more from the business unit, the systems business unit that we have. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining the assimilation meeting. And as I said, if there are any specific questions with respect to anything related to human resources, I'll be more than happy to answer towards the end of the session. Thank you so much. Swapnil, if you could please take over.
Sure, thanks. Thanks, Neha. So I'm Swapnil Naik. I'm the Senior Director of Engineering at AFour Technologies, and I manage the systems business unit. So in the systems group, we are working on very innovative solutions with the latest and greatest of technology based on recent technology trends. Right? So if you see, all these areas are pretty hot in the market. We work on cloud computing, big data, data protection services like storage, backup recovery, next generation data center insights, networks, virtualization, cybersecurity, and private clouds like OpenStack. So these are primarily my focus areas. So within each of these areas, we have different services, which I'll be expanding now. But the first one is design and development services. So basically, we have different areas here. First one is AWS Big Data. So we have multiple customers that we work with, and we are helping them build software as a service, which basically helps them to ingest a lot of data. It could be in gigabytes to petabytes of data, millions and millions of records ingested on a daily basis. And then we have these big data technologies like EMR Stack, S3, Redshift, which basically processes data and helps us to deliver analytics so that the customers can take informed decisions. From a design perspective, right, we generally go with service-oriented architectures. We prefer microservices, and most of our solutions in the cloud, AWS specifically, is all serverless, right? All Lambda based. Typical technologies are Linux, Python, Java, and when it comes to front end, it's React.js. And we leverage most of the AWS managed services to basically provide big data solutions. The next one is next generation data centers. So here we help system administrators, network administrators get enough insights into their complex data centers so that they know what kind of machines they have, what's the kind of network topologies, collect performance metrics of systems, so that it helps administrators to rectify issues upfront, plan the capacity, and ensure uptime of 24/7 by 365, so that the customer's business is not impacted. So over here, the technologies that we use is Linux, Java, Python, AWS. Again, the front end is Angular, React, Vue.js. Mobile applications that we use are Android and iOS. Right? The next is for computing. Some of you all may not be aware, this is a concept of Cisco. So we are helping customers build a complete hardware and a software stack, which basically, especially industries like automobile industries, big manufacturing industries use this to basically automate some of their tasks. For example, in the automobile industries, you must have seen there are robotic arms. So for computing solutions basically are on-premise solutions, which basically helps to manage robots and other end user devices. And they send some telemetry back to the cloud so that you don't have latency challenges should you build a complete cloud solution. And then the cloud processes data and sends back to the fog hardware. We call it as a fog hardware, fog nodes, which makes them more intelligent and helps them to manage end devices in a more efficient way. Right? So this is based on Linux, Python, Java, and a lot of use of Dockers. And virtualization technologies. And when it comes to front end, it's Angular, Vue.js. Next is OpenStack. So we, along with our customer, have built a very innovative solutions which helps customers provide a complete end-to-end experience to back up and recover any of their workloads that's on OpenStack. This product has been, a couple of years back, has been also featured in one of the US technology magazines as the only product that provides DR solutions for OpenStack, right? So we have a pretty large team here, which basically provides all sorts of engineering services. Technologies, Linux, Python, Angular, OpenStack, right? So this is basically more for development and architects in this specific group. So the next is more around testing and test automation. So we have a lot of expertise into storage and disaster recovery solutions, including networks and virtualization. So we know how to set up very complicated environments on-premise as well as on cloud for storage and virtualization, good expertise on storage protocols like NFS, SMB, S3, and technologies are mentioned below. Right? But test automation, well, not many of you may know, but AFour Technologies, when it was founded, initially it was all test automation. So customers who wanted to automate their tasks for quick to market deliverables used to come to AFour. So we started with test automation, and we have solid expertise in web, API, mobile, front end, back end automation, technology listed below. We have also built some of our frameworks, accelerators that customers can leverage, right? So that they can focus more in test automation than in building frameworks, so that their releases can be fast tracked. Third, basically in testing is cybersecurity. So we have penetration testing expertise in web, mobile, cloud, Kubernetes as well. And we are a very active contributors to bug bounty programs. If you go to the AFour site and you see cybersecurity services, you will see that AFour Technologies has received a large number of Hall of Fame awards from very large cap enterprises like Oracle, Nokia, Motorola, and many other companies. So we have very good footprint in the IT industry when it comes to cybersecurity, and we have a lot of companies, approaching us for these services. Next is professional services. So while we are good at development testing, one of other areas that we do well is professional services. So we help customers with supporting their applications, architecting their solutions based on business requirements. Some of our customers, some of our employees even fly to the US and Europe so that they can closely work with the customers, deploy their solutions, any issues they're able to quickly rectify. And our technical support team basically provides support services during the India time zone, so that there's uptime of the application 24/7 by 365, right? And most of this technology is around disaster recovery and storage. And the technologies are listed below, right? So that's on reliability engineering. Finally, as you all know, that most customers today are embracing DevOps. That's a new culture. And that's basically because everyone wants the entire engineering process to be completely automated, which helps in quick to market deliveries. So we support applications, we support clouds, we support databases, we support administrators, system administrators to basically manage cloud as well as on-premise environments by completely automating most of their day-to-day tasks. Okay. Lastly, I would just like to touch upon some of our frameworks that we have built. So AFourmation, by the very name AFour, we have this AFourmation, which is a Python and Linux-based automation framework. It basically uses data-driven test methodology, and it helps customers to basically quickly automate their tests, may it be web, API, CLI. So they don't have to focus on any of the framework features like managing your test cases, parallel execution, reports, etc. So it's all handled by the framework. And it has seamless integrations with CI tools like Jenkins. Provides rich reports like AFour, so that you can get a quick summary once your tests are executed. The next one is AFour Cloud Stack. So this is something that we are working with AWS. This is a tool that we have built, which is a DevOps tool, and it helps system administrators like SysOps to automate SysOps use cases. Simple example is you want to start a machine, stop a machine, whatever, right? So AWS Cloud administrators can leverage this tool to automate all their SysOps use cases around AWS services like EC2, S3, etc. And just to allow system administrators to automate all these tasks, we have provided a CLI. And this tool can also be used by customers who basically have AWS products reporting on AWS resources to test their solutions. Finally, we have Booster, which is quite similar to AFourmation. It was the older framework that we had. And the basic difference between Booster and AFourmation is that it allows customers to basically easily manage their automation because we have a web UI on top of automation. so that managers, not just technical engineers, but even managers can basically view test results, review test suites, update test suites, and execute it directly from the UI, right? So that's booster for you. So that's a quick overview about the systems group, and I'm excited to have you all in this meeting, and I'm looking forward to connect and work with you all closely. Okay, thank you.
So very good afternoon, all of you guys. Swapnil already has given a very intriguing presentation about the systems group. Let me give a flavor about the applications. So typically, we have divided application groups into two. One is the design and development side, and the reliability engineering has been taken care by Manoj. So I predominantly focus on the design and development side of the things. Anything which is not under the system side above this above the area is the one which actually falls under this particular group. We starts with three broad categories of services, which are consulting, design, and development. So in under consulting, we do two types of engagements. One is very hand-to-hand cohesive discussions about user experience. That's the area which is has picked up in last few years, and we have a very detail-oriented service offering about how to go about starting from envisioning the UI. So that's where the user experience comes into the picture, and the architecture designing of the solution, which is typically the end-to-end system, enterprise system designing. That's where the software architecture, solution architecture comes into the design. Once the consulting has been done, understanding the requirements, how the roadmap and vision is to be there, then the design services comes into picture, where we start actually designing everything right from the UX till the end-to-end product, right? Database, as well as we actually take care of how the infrastructure, deployment infrastructure will be there. That is a part of the design services. And development is classic, right from prototyping to and full-fledged front-end and back-end systems development, which can cater into any specific domain. I'll come back to on that, what I mean by domain, and also a big data and analytics on the application side. So when I say domain, we, if you actually have noticed so far, we have not talked about AFour as any specific domain related structure. And that is been done mainly very consciously, that we don't want to get structured as a domain based organization, and we want to keep our technology edge upfront. That's why the organization is actually structured based on the technology stack. So anything which is an application comes into any domain, we actually go for it. That gives us the flexibility also, because we just play the technology stuff. Just more detailed elaboration on the UX side. It starts from the UX and UI design, getting into the user research, understanding the personas, wireframing, then going into the prototyping and getting the usability testing done. Classic UI development, right now we actually go with, predominantly it is right now happening on the React side, but we do have a lot of presence in the Angular side as well. Most of the UI development, classic web application, mobile, and the PWA. You can see the tools and frameworks which are there, which typically been used from the backend and the front end side of the things. A quick glimpse of the technology expertise. You can see, if you correlate what Jenish was actually referring to in the beginning about our customer stack, we do have a lot of customers who are very prime and niche technology players. That gives an opportunity to be on top of the latest technologies which are and trends which are coming into the market, and you will see all the things which are happening things right now. And it's like an open canvas for you. When you join the company, you can actually come and paint your picture with any technology or multiple variations which you want to do. A quick one particular, this is the accelerator which the application group has actually come up with. This is a outcome of one of the awards which Neha actually mentioned, which is the hackathon one. So this idea came in from the group. They actually came up with a nice prototyping of it. We liked it, and it is now a sponsored project within the organization. It helps actually kickstarting and jumpstarting of any application development, right from the front end and back end technology mixture. You can pick and choose, and then it actually gives you the jumpstart, predominantly to take care of making sure that our design quality and development quality is consistent across the projects. So that's the quick about the application group. I will hand over to Manoj for taking care of the reliability engineering.
Good afternoon, all. Great to see you all here and welcoming all to AFour family. I'll quickly, spend a couple of minutes going through what we do as part of reliability engineering, which is again as part of the applications group, which Abhijit was explaining. We do have the services kind of, in the varied areas which has been mentioned here. Consulting, primarily what we focus on consulting is understand the ecosystem of our customer, look at all the best practices which can be implemented, and analyze and prepare a report and kind of help them implement the best practices, right? Whether it is on test automation or DevOps. The second area is primarily on the design front. We spend, or most of our customers kind of, like us do this, which is starting with evaluating the right testing tools or test automation tools based on their tech stack, and then really, helping them with setting up the test automation framework and trying to, help them with the test design. We do the similar approach on the DevOps side as well. Again, the next one is more on the execution part, which is the varied types of, testing practices we do have. As I said, reliability engineering on the application side primarily focuses on testing, test automation, DevOps, and performance engineering. And these are the key services we offer. A glance of most of the testing tools we use, you can see that it's a mix of open source technologies, tools and technologies, as well as proprietary tools, right? As I said, it's basically based on the customer need. There are customers who prefer certain proprietary tools, as well as they do have a bunch of open source tools and technologies as well. As it's, we have been emphasizing since the start of this presentation, we are a technology house, right? And that is where our focus is. We don't really align towards any one of the technologies, and we are pretty much open, and that is the key differentiator we have. Some of the DevOps tools kind of we use and kind of try to portion it in different cycles which fall under the DevOps overall cycle here, right? Just want to spend few minutes on this as we not only kind of try to work on whatever customers' environment is, we do also look for accelerators which needs to really fasten the entire process, right? So typically when there is a test automation engagement, where people spend time is creating test automation framework, right? It could be a Selenium Java-based framework, Selenium Python, or Selenium C# when it comes to web automation, and if it is mobile, you can use APM and other tools, right? So typically the point here is that people spend a good amount of time creating these frameworks. So the idea came in that why don't we have a chassis created for this framework, and people can just start plugging in and start automating, which can save time. That is how this vanilla framework came into picture, where it really supports all the platforms across web, mobile, and API. And it's already integrated with most of the common testing tools or test management tools and all the reporting systems, right? While we were doing this, we kind of had an idea that now vanilla kind of primarily supports Selenium or APM and very specific certain libraries and very specific programming languages. Why don't we have a wrapper on top of it, which is more of an automation framework generator, right? Wherein you just go and choose your programming language, the kind of libraries you need, and what kind of a reporting you need, whether it's an extend report or annual reporting or whatever your choices, and then you say that these are the CI/CD tools where I need the integration with, right? And because it is going to vary from customer to customer, we try to create this as a framework generator where it's pretty easy for you to select all these tools, and it really gives you the template which is needed to get you started, right? And that is the idea behind it. While we were working on all this test automation, what we kind of figured out is that even though we are trying customers create test automation and the regression test suite, it's always a challenge that whenever there's a code change, people don't really understand what exactly has changed, and they just end up running the entire automation test suite, or kind of spend more cycles on testing the changes for even the areas which is not impacted by that change. So the idea here is, how do we identify exactly what has changed and programmatically identify what would be the impact because of that change, and help the dev and QA to run exactly those test cases which would have caused the impact on this code base. So this really reduces your overall cycle. And imagine, this is a plugin which gets into your CI/CD. So somebody goes and does a code commit, this gets triggered, it analyzes what the code has changed and what is the impact because of it. It understands the test cases which needs to be run, and either it is a unit test case or a functional test case, it automatically gets triggered and your report is there, right? So that completely changes your entire release cycle. So these are the few accelerators wanted to give a highlight on, as as the team has always emphasized, right? There is a good platform available over here to showcase your capabilities other than the normal your work, right? And that is where these asset programs come into picture, hackathons come into picture, where these kind of ideas come out, and there are sponsors which really help you to take it to completion. Yeah, so that's all I had. So thanks a lot for the opportunity, and I would like Mahesh to kind of take it up from here.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I'll not take more than a couple of minutes or so. I'm sure you'd be, as Jenny said, hungry by now, actually. There's a lot of food for thought. Let's look forward to actual food now. So normally we used to have this in-person meetings together, ideally over lunch. So timing is matching, and a lot more people than whom you met today. Like this, our top management forum, like our senior folks, some of the senior architects and project managers, they also typically participate. So you get to understand more about whom you'll be working, interacting, and so on and so forth. But because of and we used to have it over weekend so that people can have relaxed time over lunch and do it. But because of this pandemic, there's a completely work-life integration. So we thought we as well have this on Friday. So quickly about these are our customers. So looking at the spread, you might see that right from a large enterprise, as Janish mentioned, right, several $1 million customers to $1 billion unicorns and multi-million dollar mid-size, small-size companies. They are the customer. Again, I think Abhijit or Swapnil highlighted that we don't focus on a specific domain. Technology is something that we treat as a domain, and we support customers from various verticals. So some of the business goals, we are reorienting our consulting and engineering practices around cloud ecosystem. So cloud first is the strategy, as it's happening in the rest of the world. Business wise, basically we are focusing a lot on building and enhancing IP assets. So some of these accelerator slides towards the end of each of our directors' presentation you would have seen. So that's the area we want to focus more and more on building our own IP assets and provide solution based on those. Continue to grow at annual rate of around 20% or more. This has been happening for last several years, even including last year, which was difficult for most of the industry. We did very well compared to the average industry. We are very close to becoming 100 crore market cap organization. And I'm very proud of this milestone. So looking forward to achieving this very soon. Business philosophy wise, some of these areas that we feel as an integral part of our culture are respect, people, ownership, and accountability. I am positive energy, which means that if there is a problem, how can I contribute to solving the problem? As against saying that it's not my problem, this is somebody else's problem. This is not QA problem, development problem, or a DevOps problem, right? I try to see irrespective of my limited area or scope of working. Can I go beyond that and solve that problem? So that's how you learn not many things and grow very well. Ethics and transparency. So this is very clear. Betterment of society. That's where we believe that we are lucky ones, where we got to choose what we can do. Right? We are independent. We are earning for ourselves. Plus, we are fortunate enough to do a creative job. So because of this, we owe a lot to society, and we try giving back to society through several CSR initiatives, right, and even otherwise. So in the COVID time, we have helped immensely, and proud to say that many hospitals, many NGOs we work helped immensely, and we continue to do that. Customer engagement, as we say, we treat customer as friends, close friends. So the way you treat your close friend, when the close friend is doing well, not doing well, you're always with the friend in thick and thin, and that's what we do with our customers. IP asset creation cycle at AFour. So there's a lot of ideation happening all around. People have a lot of ideas. Those ideas are shared. Every quarter there is a hackathon. So these ideas are put for POC. So teams are assembled and people can participate in presenting those ideas, because having a great idea is one thing, but showing that idea, producing something is another. So the hackathons are created, and then whether you can really showcase some value from the idea, then that is converted into accelerator projects, and those accelerator projects are run as a special incentive projects, where every customer that we win based on these accelerators that you've created, the team who's working and the mentors, all of them get very handsomely monetary rewarded. So that generates the spirit of entrepreneurship in all of us, basically, and that is a very important thing. Also, basically, we publish white papers, we conduct webinars, we participate in these accelerators. Rather, we present these accelerators during the periodic meetings with the customers. So we get a broader audience, and they typically like these accelerators and like the attitude that we are not only solving the given problem, but we are doing something in addition. And then when the customer is onboarded, then we mature and enhance those accelerators. So this is how we typically work. These are the offices that we have. In Pune, we used to have several offices because of COVID pandemic. Last year or more than that, we are working from home across India. So we have an office in Kapil Zenith, level 3.
Thank you, Magesh. Thank you, team, for the wonderful presentation. I'm sure our new members could be able to grasp and understand what we are, who we are, and how we go about doing things. Is that correct, all of you? I hope you guys have got grasp or understand some of those things about us.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience hearing.